Hey there, welcome back to the channel, Motorsport and Scale. In case anybody forgot by the thumbnail, this is going to be the last episode of the Model Factory Hiro Maserati 250F Streamliner. This is it. This is all the parts we got left to prepare for the build. Everything else is complete at this point. These are the last of them, and pretty much everything here is going to be a natural metal finish. So I'm going to polish, sand, and smooth and polish most everything on the table. I don't know what I'm going to do with these are the bottom parts of the hood latches that swing under. I'll probably just leave them natural metal. I'm not sure. I might paint them. But regardless, the top pieces, I need to have a slight polish put on them. I think they'll look best that way, the knockoffs and the fuel caps. And then we just got the windshield to trim out and get installed on the body before we assemble everything. So that'll be it. It'll be prep a couple parts and then do the assembly and final reveal. And then after that, I'll do a little bit of a debrief of what I thought of the kit, the challenges it presented, and that'll wrap up this series. So anyways, I will go prep these parts, and then we'll sort of gather everything together and start doing the final assembly. So we'll see you in a little bit. All right, so I've been working away on this, getting little details done. So I've got... if you can see them, I've got all the rivets installed on the body. Nothing really much to show there in terms of doing it. Stick a rivet in a hole, glue it from the inside, and trim the outside. So now I am working on the windshield. I've gone ahead and let's just zoom in a bit here. I've gone ahead and I marked out just on the inside with felt tip marker. I just marked out the cut line. Hopefully I've got it on the line. Sorry, I was just looking at that. Yeah, I think I got it. So I marked it out first, and I just put tape over everything on the inside and out, just to keep from scratching the Lexan. And so my next thing here is I just use scissors. These are... You can get these little curved scissors. They're for cutting Lexan for RC car bodies. That's what I find works the best, personally. So I'm just going to rough trim way outside the line right now, just to get rid of all the excess plastic. This will just make it a little easier to work with. Alright, got the basic shape cut out, so now it's just a matter of sneaking up on the line, doing some test fitting, and go from there. So, essentially, the outside line obviously is 100% cosmetic. So just trying to make sure that that's uniform, symmetric, I think is going to be the most important. The bottom one, it fits inside this and you can't really see the inside, so it's not super critical. So I'm just going to trim, like I marked on the outside of the depression for the cut line. So I'm just going to trim to my black line. And then I'll start test fitting it. And it should be fine. Like, you can probably even just do a rough test to see generally how it's going to fit. It should be okay. More or less, I can kind of see where that cut line is going to fall. It's looks like it's fairly close, so I'm just going to go right up to my line now. One thing I find when trimming with scissors is like it cuts Lexan really well. The line can end up being a little wavy, so I won't necessarily cut right to where I want my finish line to be. I'll leave a little bit, and then I'll fine tune the fit with sandpaper. So Lexan, it sands really well, so it's fairly easy to work with. I think the only real problem, not really a problem, but the only real thing to be aware of with Lexan is it scratches pretty easy. And that's why I got the tape on it. If I've done it without taping it, you can more or less polish any scratches out afterwards anyways. You can use something like Plexus or Pledge. Furniture polish works really well for cleaning Lexus and sort of getting rid of the scratches. So, a little scratch here and there is not going to be the end of the world. Also, in real life, this stuff would have scratched up. It wouldn't have been totally pristine. So, depending on how authentic you want things. You could just not worry about it too much. One thing you gotta be conscious of, I kind of just did it, is watch the inside corner of the scissors when you got, when you're working on a convex curve, that they're not gouging the inside of the Lexan. The tape helps with that, but you still gotta be careful you don't scratch through the tape. So that's actually where these Lexan scissors are good, because they're not super pointy at the end. Pointy scissors obviously will gouge easier and scratch. So that's where these are nice, and the curve also helps with that too. The curve also helps with cutting a smooth radius. So yeah, and I'll just keep test fitting it, checking, which, like really it's probably good. I'll just need to clean these edges up and call it done. And this one I'm not quite sure yet. I'll probably just glue it in. I might use double-sided tape, a little thin strip of double-sided tape along the bottom to adhere it in, and then I'll come and drill my holes out and put my rivets in, and call her done. So I think I'll just need a little bit more cleaning. I'm probably just going to peel back a bit of the tape just to look at my edges to see if I've got, because it's got a molded in cut line. Obviously I don't want, on the bottom it doesn't really matter. I just need to make sure it's going to fit the aperture. That's all going to be hidden. The top is the important one there, that you don't leave any of that line remaining in the Lexan. So I'll just have to keep an eye on that and sand from there. So anyways, I'm going to continue working on this. I might throw the camera back on and show you a little bit of the sanding, but I gotta get all my stuff out to get set up for that. So I will be back in a bit. Alright, so I've gone ahead and got the windshield done and installed, and yeah, I didn't really show any of that. It was kind of fiddly getting all the rivets in and figuring out how to get it glued in here. I probably didn't take the best approach. I think you probably saw it in one of the previous clips that I had attached this cowl to the body before I did the windshield. And my rationale there, what I was trying to achieve was, I had the body mounted to the bottom pan, and it kind of spread, like the body wants to sort of roll in. So I wanted it spread out, and I wanted to get this mounted, and where it was supposed to be before I cut out the windshield and got it fitted. So to make sure it was the right shape. So I thought the best way to do that was to have that piece mounted and then put the windshield in after. Which, it worked. It was fine for the most part. It made it a bit more fiddly, but I think in retrospect, I should have done that cowl or this piece here in the windshield, and then got the body mounted on the chassis, then attach that piece. Probably would have been easier in the long run, but anyways, we got there. So as you can see, I've got the windshield in. It's clear, so it's hard to see, but in the video, but it's there. It's on. It looks good. I've got the body mounted. The pan piece here, the sort of bottom piece, bolts to the chassis, and then the body bolts to it. So that's where I am with that. We just have the front and rear to stick on. I'm not going to do that on camera because it will be fiddly, and it's not really much to see. It's just, actually, this is the first time, it looks like it's going to fit. It's just a matter of sticking it on, and then I just have the filler caps for the fuel and the oil tank to put on afterwards. So, I'll get those all mounted here in a bit, and not much to it. It's just going to be, I'll probably use, there's not really much to glue on this thing. I'll probably put a little bit of epoxy to glue it, and then same with the front. It'll just go on here. I've made my locating point so that it should all mount up and be good. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you one last time sort of the semi-completed project. The only other thing I've got left to do is just to assemble the hood latches, and I'll wait till I got everything else fitted, and then I can make sure that the shape of the hood's right. I don't need to tweak it before I put those on. So it's getting there, just about done. So the next time you'll see it, it'll be finished, and I'll just go do a bit of a debrief on it and what I thought, and show you the final product and close this thing out. So we will see you in a little bit. All right, so there we go. I have it all done. Yeah, that's it. I am going to just do a little bit of, I don't know, how it went. You know, what was the kit like? Would I think of it? Would I build another one? You know, my self-assessment of the way it turned out, and I guess, you know, I think it turned out all right. I think in the beginning, if we look back at the kit, there was definitely, you know, it had its challenges. There was a lot of stuff that needed correcting on this, in terms of the parts themselves, right? We had a lot of bent parts, misshapen parts. There was some pretty crappy molding on the body itself, so we fixed all that, and I think I commented at one point about not to sweat the details of, you know, there might be little problems with little parts here and there, you know, and you can spend a whole lot of time correcting all that stuff, but at the end of the day, it's the sum of the parts that make the model, right? And when it's all together like this, you know, there might be little flaws here and there, but you don't see them, right? You know, like, yeah, of course, if you zoom in on it and really dissect it, you're going to see them, and that's fine. But the overall picture, I think, is with anything really, but with these in particular, it creates this object that overall just looks really fantastic. It's got, you know, like the wire wheels and just the detail of, you know, the fine components like the steering wheel and stuff like that, the gauges, whatever. You know, it all paints this broader picture that all comes together as a whole to give you this really nice thing in the end. So yeah, is there imperfections on it? Is there some things that could have been better? Some of them, yes, there are. You know, some of them are my doing that I could have maybe worked a little bit harder to correct. Some of them are just inherent into the design of the kit. Some of them might be a combination of the two. But it's irrelevant at the end of the day because, you know, this object sitting here now, I think, you know, is a little work of art. It's a little, I don't know, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but you know what I mean. Like, it turns into its own thing beyond every little tiny part. You know, some might be flawed, some might not be accurate, some might not be prepped very well, whatever the case may be. Anyways, I think I've made that point. So that's the attitude I take in building these model Factory Hiro kits, and most anything for that matter, is, you know, you can sweat the little tiny details, but at the end of the day, it's how it all comes together and presents itself as a whole, which is the important part, at least in my opinion. So with that in mind, I think it turned out really well. The fit was, in some parts, not the greatest, but I did a little bit of work there. You know, it's unfortunate, I did a little bit of work there to make sure everything fit together well. And when I came to final assembly, it still fit together well, so I was happy with that. These front joints are good, the back ones look pretty good. The only thing that's maybe a bit of a disappointment is just the way the front and the back pieces come on. They are bolted from the underneath, but nothing at the top really positively will keep them tight. So putting it together in a manner to take it apart afterwards, like if you wanted to display this with the rear body work off or the front nose cone off, not really possible. So I glued it all together. The hood will come off. I just have it sitting on there. It's really fiddly to try to get it off, but you're probably watching a slideshow of this right now, of photographs that I've just used my voiceover on. But, you know, so I'll take pictures with the hood off, or the engine cover off. But that's the only real removable thing. And I guess you could take the wheels off. They're pretty easy to get off there. But anyways, that is the Model Factory Hiro Maserati 250F Streamliner. completed, and I'm pretty happy to get this thing done. It's, I'm building this for somebody else, so got to get it packaged up and sent away. It's not something that I would have bought and built myself, but I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I took on the challenge. It was a neat project. It's a neat car. And so with that, I just want to give a big shout out and a thank you to everybody who has followed along thus far. And if you like what you see and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It helps out immensely. And stay tuned for the next series, which I'm not quite sure what it's going to be. So stay tuned on that one. Thanks for watching, and take care. We'll see you later.